Tell me something silly or funny your daddy does.
Do you know what he sometimes does? He sometimes makes funny faces at me, and he sometimes lets me make funny faces on him. Want to see one of the faces I made on Daddy's face one time?
What fun thing do you like to do with your daddy?
Play football. Hunting. Play football. Play basketball.
When I was 6 years old, I remember he took one of my sisters, not Preston, and myself. We flew to Chattanooga and rode a train back. And it was a whirlwind tour. And the cool thing was it was a DC-3, which is quite a few years ago. And I got to sit in the front of the plane on the right side. And I remember that as it had a door there, and I was afraid that door was going to open. I was going to follow the plane.
My dad built a swimming pool in our backyard when I was 5 years old because he took us to the Gulf Coast for a vacation. And all we did every day was swim. So he thought, well, I'm going to put one of these in the backyard, and then we don't have to ever leave home. And youth groups came to that pool, neighbors came to that pool.
How can you tell your daddy loves Jesus?
Because he sings in the choir. He reads the Bible. There's a Bible study in the morning. He goes to church. He honors God when he prays. He loves him. He tells us Christian bedtime stories at nighttime.
Tell me about your dad's walk with the Lord.
People often comment about my dad's gift of faith. He always gave God credit for his faithfulness to us. I remember him balancing his checkbook, working on his bills, and then afterwards he would go into the other room and play the piano and sing Great is Thy Faithfulness. And he would do it really loudly. You could hear it through the whole house. And it was always such a testimony to me.
My dad's walk with the Lord was very consistent, intentionally an outward example of the Lord in his life all of the time. I can't ever remember a day when anyone that knew him would not be aware that he was a man of God. And he made that very visible.
How did your dad show Christ's love to other people?
This is where my dad excelled. He loved people. He loves people. And he taught in my high school, and I watched him parent and love my friends growing up, and was a tremendous role model for me. He's the reason I went originally to be a school teacher, is because I saw the role that my dad had on those people, my friends.
In everything he did, he always showed Christ's love. He started the boys' club because he saw that there were boys out there that didn't have anything going for them. They were playing on the streets, and they needed some place to play. And he single-handedly started the boys' club in Knoxville.
How did the Lord use your father to impact his church?
He served as long as I could remember. At Cedar Springs, he was a Sunday school superintendent and a deacon there. And then here at Christ Covenant as an elder, I've always had seen him serve.
I think about the verse Jim used today in his sermon, Colossians 3:22. My version said, don't do anything to a minimum, and Dad didn't. Everything he committed himself to, he did 100%. So throughout the church, he was not only a volunteer and participated in lots of activities, but he lived that life, and people knew it. There was no question about where Billy Thompson stood in the Lord.
Happy Father's Day! Happy Father's Day.